All right, ready to go? Here we go. This is how we do the quartering off the deer. So this is a shoulder, and it's separated by a seam right in here.
Wow, that's really smooth.
As you can see, there's very little blooded mess inside of here. That's from low impact area. All right, that's one shoulder. We're gonna do the other one real quick.
Get it. There we go. Show me where they're cut.
So you just basically pull the shoulder away from the armpit. You make a small cut and you'll feel it pull away.
Wow.
Your back straps lay underneath here. So your neck meat should come off first. This is the back strap right underneath here. So you want to be careful not to cut into the back strap. You're going to follow this down. See how there's the back strap right there.
Where's the back strap?
Right, this is back strap.
Oh, okay.
It starts about right in here. This will be neck meat from here on up. So about where the front of the shoulder came off is where you will start your back strap. You'll cut in here like this. And this piece of meat will have a little bit of hair on the outside that'll be picked off by the kids when they're inside cleaning on it. There's bones in here that stick out. You kind of have to carve around them. See right there's two sticking out.
Okay. And what's the neck meat good for? Is that ground?
This is grind. This is actually your brisket. I'll do it in just a second. I'm gonna cut this off.
So that's the neck meat?
This is one side of the neck meat, and it's just grindable burger. You wanna make sure there's no of the center sinew. This is a real hard piece of sinew right here. You don't wanna get that in it.
Okay.
This is your brisket. If you wanted to do this the way you would do an actual brisket, you would cut this with a saw right here, and you would have a bone-in brisket slab. Deer do not have a lot of fat. It's a very small amount of meat in it, so it's not a very high value cut. This is the brisket slab though.
We'll use it for burger.
We'll use it for burger. Is a good clean fat. You can have this in your burger. You do not want it to be bloodshot or discolored at all if you're gonna put it in your burger, but as long as it's nice and white. Fat deposits are prone to having glands in them, and so you want to, anything that's inside of a fold of meat, you got to check and make sure there's not a gland in it, such as this piece right here.
Show me a gland.
This here is going to have a gland in it. I'll show you. It's also discolored around it. I'll show you real quick. See this discoloration? You do not want that in your meat, so you wouldn't even put this in even if it was, but inside of here will be a gland.
So if it's not really nice white and it's discolored,
that's correct.
You don't use it.
Somewhere in here there's a gland. Right there. There we got to it.
Is that always there?
There's all of these deposits that are in a crease or a crevice or in between meat almost always have a gland in them. And you want to find it and get it out if you're going to use this fat. This is the gland right here.
Okay.
That will
So if there's a big fat deposit,
a large fat deposit that is in between meat or in a crease of a shoulder. These are in front of the ham. There's also one on these shoulders. Right here in the front of these shoulders, this is one that has a fat deposit and it has a gland in it.
Okay.
It'll be on the crease of the shoulder or in the crease of this back ham.
Okay. And you just take the gland out and can use it?
You can take the gland out if you want to use the fat. If it's clean, you can actually render this fat down as long as it's clean. Just make sure it's not discolored. This has some discoloration to it, so I would clean it out like this. You do not want that brown looking, bloody, bloodshot stuff in your fat. That will make it taste bad.
Okay.
You can take your hands off next or your back straps. They are not, the shoulders are overlaying and protecting your back straps. You cannot take your back straps out properly if your shoulders are still on. So take your shoulders off first, then your neck meat, then your back straps or your hams, and these are protected by a layer of sinew fat back here on the back. I like to take it off so I can see my seams which involves following the back strap down, splitting this away from, you can see this layer that I'm taking off. Make sure you're not taking off the actual sinew that's on the back strap. There should be a layer between
So
you
just
and the
the
meat.
fat cap, kind
It's
of?
like a fat cap with sinew in it, yes. It's a tougher cap of
So
fat.
this is the back strap under here?
Right, that's the back strap. And it has a layer of sinew on the back strap. If you take that off, you're gonna see bright red meat. Get this all the way out of your way. That's just a layer of fat, sinew. Hang that off to the side, we don't need that. Here is gonna be a seam right up through here.
Oh, it just split.
You wanna find that seam so you can follow it all the way down to here. So that you can see it. It almost just separates on its own right there. You're gonna end up cutting that, but not right now. Then you come up here, trim this off a little bit, and you'll start right against the backbone, almost with your knife pushing that way as you're coming down. And there is a few little bones that stick out in there, and you'll feel them, and you'll go around them with your blade. See, like right there's one where I hit it.
So you just kind of go around it?
Yep, you just kind of feel around the bone as you're coming down. The farther down you get down here, it gets a little more at an angle. This is a little more straight up here. It's a little more at an angle down to here. When you get down to the bottom, you just stop when you feel that you hit the bottom here.
Sounds like you almost have a guide in there. Is that kind of like a guide?
It's kind of like a
with
guide, as
those
long as you're
bones?
pushing against the outside and you're not just going down through here. Because
Okay.
there's no guide on this side. You're gonna be following the other side of the opposite
Okay.
side of the backbone here. Then you come up here and you cut right in here. Your goal is to get this started right here. And then I take my knife and I go upside down like this right
Oh,
here.
I can't see. Okay. Oh, and you're just like detaching it.
This is my preferred, cleanest way to do it, is turn the knife, and you're doing like 1 inch at a time, right against the bone. I don't know if you guys can see that. As you come down, see, I got a little bit wasted right there. Gotta go a little slower. As you come down, it actually gets wider here at the bottom. So you're gonna end up with a larger piece to cut. Now, once you're at the bottom, this actually has a bone that sticks up right here. There's actually a bone sticking up right here, so you have to cut in at an angle like that. You see how that?
It's smooth.
If you try to cut out, you're gonna discover you're hitting bone. This bone, the hip bone, actually sticks forward on it.
Let's see
There's
it.
a cleaned out back strap.
We'll show you
You
how
should not see a lot of this right here. This is a piece that I left on here. You don't want to leave meat on here. This is your best cut of meat.
There's your steaks.
That is a delicious steak.
That is the best part.
All right, we're gonna do a ham next. Hind quarter. This is what we call a hind quarter. It's gonna have your roasts in it, or you can use it for jerky meat or steaks. We prefer this for steaks if you have enough, but you can also make steaks out of this. This is where one of these meat hooks comes in handy. I use this a lot in the field if I'm quartering up deer that are out in the woods and I'm trying to hold deer from falling on the ground, pieces, I'm cutting them off. I use this a lot then. On this stuff, you don't need one necessarily, but this here is really handy to have for here. I lock it in right here in the front of the hock, and it gives me a good handle to hold on to this without it being slippery. Now, I take this right here and I try to get rid of this before I cut this off, which is a piece of tainted meat from it being hung up. And then I come right in here and somewhat feel my way into here. Similar to cutting out the back strap right here, you're gonna feel the bone and just follow it. Right here is gonna be a ball joint. See that ball joint fall? You wanna end up cutting that little tendon. As you can see, it's kind of falling off the deer as I'm cutting because I'm loosening everything. Now, I'll grab this so I got a good hold on this as I'm cutting this last bit off. And then you can see why you want to have one of these,
Woohoo.
because it keeps everything from falling on the dirt. I'll lay this up here and I'll trim this real quick so it doesn't go into the table.
Nice clean.
This bloodshot mess is something you do
So
not
what do they
want
trim off?
in your meat. Always trim off anything you see that's
Bloodshot?
bloodshot or discolored.
Okay.
We'll actually trim a little bit more of this once we get in there, but this is contaminating the other meat to have it on there.
Okay.
All right, give me that ham. I showed you the ham, the back strap, and the shoulder, and the neck meat. I'm gonna do the other side yet. I still have a back strap and a ham, or a hind quarter, and then we'll come inside and we'll show you how we dissect those out.